Louisiana seafood gumbo. You know, here in Louisiana, the first time that temperature starts to drop, we bust out our pots and make this wonderful classic Louisiana dish. Hey everyone, I'm Jeremy Langlois, Executive Chef at Home's House Estate and Gardens. We're cooking gumbo today. I couldn't be any more excited. Let's jump in and get cooking. All right, as always, the recipe will be linked to the video. I have a nice thick bottom pot with a cup of oil, hot and ready to go. And we're gonna start off by making our roux. Equal parts flour to oil. We get that flour into the hot oil, and then now it's just all about whisking. And I say that very importantly. Notice how I'm using a whisk. You could 100% use a spoon, but I want you to use a whisk, because always remember, when you're making roux, this is Cajun napalm, and any splash on this will burn you. And by using a whisk, it's much less likely that you'll get a splash on your skin. So I want you to be careful, because we are working under high heat. And whenever the roux reaches that beautiful dark color we're looking for, it'll be around 350 degrees, very hot. But notice how I'm just whisking away, starting in the middle, and then working my way out, covering the bottom of the pot. And now you're kind of committed. Don't stop whisking or your roux will scorch. And it's going to take about 5 to 6 minutes. And we're looking to achieve a color about the color of peanut butter or a dark kind of walnut wood. So let's just let this cook away. All right, that roux is starting to take on that nice, dark, rich color. It's gotten about, again, look for the color of about peanut butter. Once we get to that point, I can put my whisk down. Now I'm ready to transfer to my spoon, because now this is going to start to cool everything down, but still working over high heat. I'm going to get my onions, celery, and bell pepper in there, as we call it in Louisiana, our trinity. Get that starting to cook. Again, we want that to saute and caramelize in that hot roux, and I'm going to follow that up with a little bit of garlic minced up. And this, guys, is your base and your foundation. If you can achieve this nice, dark, rich Cajun roux when you're making gumbo, this is the trickiest part. It's all easy and on autopilot after this. Just get to here and you will be a gumbo pro. Once those onions and trinity have cooked in, now we're ready to start going in with our stock. Now I'm making a seafood gumbo, so I have a little seafood stock here. Chicken stock or vegetable stock is always a good neutral stock. I start adding it in a couple ladles at a time, still working over high heat, y'all, because for roux to activate, the liquid has to come up to a boil. So I add a little in and start whisking that in. And you're going to notice it's going to start to thicken. Right now it's very thick. Well, of course you can follow the measurements that I have on the recipe, or just keep adding a little, working it in, letting it come up to a boil and thicken, and then you look at it. And once it kind of starts to look like gumbo, that soup-like consistency, that's what we're looking for. That beautiful, rich, dark color is going to be fantastic, and I think we're about at it right now. That's looking absolutely perfect. So we want to get this in here. Now, if you were to taste this now, it's going to taste very strong, because that roux has just been made, but as it cooks, that strongness of the roux will start to mellow out. Well, now we want to start adding some other flavors and ingredients to it, and I'm adding andouille sausage. Now, if you don't have andouille sausage, a good smoked sausage is going to be fantastic, but andouille sausage, the iconic sausage here in Louisiana, is heavily spiced and heavily smoked. And if you were looking for a gumbo without any meat at all, because we are making a seafood gumbo, just don't add the sausage and just add your seafood, but this is going to be fine. Okra is very common in gumbo too, and if you wanted to add okra to this, which would be wonderful, this would be the point you would add it. But now what we want to do is we just want to let this start to cook away. We're going to add our seafood at the end because we don't want it to overcook. So what we want to let this do is just kind of simmer, and every couple minutes just come by, every 5 minutes, just take your spoon, stir your pot, run it across the bottom just to make sure nothing's sticking. There's a lot of solids in here that could stick to the bottom. And then you want this to cook for about 45 minutes to an hour and a half. What that's going to do is start to build flavor and mellow out the strongness and the kind of really strong flavor from the roux. That will mellow as it starts to simmer away, and you're building all these wonderful flavors. Notice how I haven't seasoned it yet. I'm going to go and season at the end as well, because we're going to get a lot of seasoning from that andouille sausage. So our gumbo's been simmering away here, 45 minutes to an hour. Now we're ready to finish this soup. The first thing I want to do is just add a little bit of seasoning, salt and pepper. If you like it spicy, you can add cayenne or some good old hot sauce, a couple dashes in there. Season it how you like. Taste it as you go at this point. Even give it a taste beforehand because you probably got a lot of seasoning and spice from that andouille sausage we added in there. Now we're going to start to add our seafood. Again, very important. You always add the seafood at the end because it will overcook. I got some wonderful Gulf shrimp. Let's get that in there. Some oysters with a little bit of that liquor. That's perfect. So much flavor is going to be in here. We're going to get that in there. Just let that start to cook. I put those in first just to get them going because they're raw. And then I'm also going to go in with some absolutely gorgeous jumbo lump crab meat as well. And we just want to gently simmer this. It's not going to take long at all. Maybe about 5 minutes in this hot gumbo, we'll start to cook that seafood. The oysters will start to curl and the shrimp will start to curl as well and get beautiful pink. And when you see that, you know it's ready to serve. Again, doesn't take long at all. Our seafood is nicely cooked. I'm just going to very simply at the end, a little bit of fresh parsley. A little bit of fresh green onions. Notice how I put that in at the very end. That's because I want them to stay beautiful, green, fresh, and vibrant. So I add that last, even after my seafood, and now I am ready to serve this up. And there you have it, guys. Louisiana seafood gumbo. An absolutely wonderful, fantastic, classic Louisiana dish. Give it a try. Let me know how it worked for you. Other than that, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.